persons within this age group, you want to try and be more considerate and compassionate towards them and helpful towards them because they're undergoing this whole experience, and a lot of them aren't even paying attention to the fact that they're undergoing it. You know, they're just like, I'm just having a good time and I'm just scrolling, like, what? And it's like, no, it's much more than that. And you need to stop and pause them and help them to understand what's going on. And that's why, again, you gotta kind of be creative with the way you're gonna go about it, but this is helpful towards all of our health in the end, because if you got a family member that's dealing with these high levels of anxiety and depression and stress, and it goes untreated and no one's really dealing with it, and no one's really helping them to figure out, that this is even a problem, like that can lead to some long-term damage. And like social media's not usage is not even worth all of that. And we need to just take control of that because, again, like I said, I just did a survey last week on ninth graders through 12th graders, and they all felt like they deal with anxiety today. And so, again, I go further in research just on social media as a topic, and I find out that the highest using age group is 18 to 29, and within that age group, the number one diagnosis that lurks upon them is what? Anxiety. So that says that we have our kids from ages 14 to 29 dealing with all sorts of levels of anxiety. And, medical treatment can be something. So we have to start trying to come up with, natural remedies and things as well. We got to start thinking about things that we can do at home. And one thing we can do is we can just throw all of those gadgets in a bucket and be like, let's just do something else for now. And that I know works because that's something that my family and I do regularly, and we survive, with that. That really helps us out a lot. Also, it says here, according to the Canadian Association of Mental Health, they found in grades as young as 7 to 12 that students who, like I said, spent over 2 hours a day on social media reported higher levels of depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts. That's a whole nother level of things. But that's what the Canadian Association of Mental Health is coming back and reporting in this day. So now let's go back. Children from ages 12 on up to 29 are being affected by this social media in a major way with this high social media usage. So we want to just be mindful of that. A lot of them don't even know it's happening because they're just caught up in the midst of the highlights and the scrolls and the likes and the comments and things. But we have to help them. For those that know that this is the case, we have to help them, and we need to point this information out to them so that they can help themselves as well moving forward. And the fourth stressor that was listed is a very unfortunate one, but it is a real one. And that fourth one was online harassment. Apparently, there's quite a bit of online harassing going on. And I just have the figures here, okay, that apparently 40% of online adults experience online harassment. And 73% of adults are witnessing it. And Whoa, what I found to be a really interesting fact, and I don't know how or why this had to be listed in the report, but sadly, I wrote the harassment is much worse if you are a female of the LGBTQ community or a person of color. To further encourage that group that, they need to find other things to do because they are apparently, like in a high ranking group to be harassed online, which is sad. But there are other things to do. And again, the internet can be used for your good. It doesn't have to be a negative experience. It just becomes that way because sadly there are negative people in the world. Like the social media is what the people put into it. So it's not social media necessarily that's a bad thing. It's the people who are feeding this stuff into social media that we really have the issue with. So we really need to get our people under control. We need to figure out why people are just so bothered, and we need to figure out how to help people with their self-talk, and we need to figure out how to help people learn how to appropriately use the internet, because it can be a magnificent tool for all of us to take advantage of and use and maximize and do really, really great things in our life with, amongst each other, sharing amongst each other. That's what it was made for. And so, lastly, I'm going to try to wrap this up because as I just shared within this video, it's very important to monitor how much time we're spending on the web. And that's just period. We need to monitor how much time we're spending on the web. So here are some ways that I found that a person can begin if they feel like they're suffering high levels of anxiety or depression, or what was the other? Stress. Then here is one from social media. Here's one way here's 4 ways I think I found, that you can begin your social media wellness journey. And again, I found this information from master researchers of the topic on how social media is affecting the brain, mental health, and people in general. And so the suggestions that I found and would like to share was, number 1, just recognize the problem. Okay, that's simple. You recognize that you're experiencing these different feelings, these unwanted feelings, and then you deal with them. Okay, that's the number 1 thing, so that you be able to get the help with them. You have to recognize that you fall into this group, that needs to do something about their social media usage so that you don't have to undergo these long-term effects later on. Number 2, you absolutely have to audit your social media. This is not something that needs to be offensive to anyone. You just simply, I suggest you just simply touch base with people and you say, hey, what's up, and you figure out what the vibe is, and you just go ahead and you audit it that way. If and you get rid of you take you take away what you need and what you must, and you walk away from whatever else is left. It's simple, because in the end, this is gonna work better for you. And that's the whole goal. Like, you don't need to just have people be a part of your social media, especially if their presence is affecting you in some sort of a negative way. And so when you feel yourself reaching some sort of a negative or unwanted or pessimistic place with interacting with anyone on social media, you stop and you pause and you think about that, and you set that straight, you know, with that person, and you just say, hey, what was up with that? And you know, if you like what you hear, you proceed on. If you don't, then you know what else to do. You have to audit your social media diet, just like any other diet. You watch what goes in your mouth. You have to watch what goes inside of your mind, your body. You know, and social media affects all of that, as it's been found in research. So that was number 2. And let me see, number 3, the suggestion is to create a better online experience for yourself, which is my personal favorite. And I do this all the time. It's very fun, you know, to reach further out into, you know, the world, the online world, and just, you know, get involved and get into groups and things, and, you know, seek out information that you really want to grasp, you know, and that you really want to be a part of your life moving forward. And I assure you that experience is so rewarding and it's so fun, and it's definitely countering all that negativity that comes along with that social media, you know, um, interaction. If it's negative, that will counter it for sure. Create your own better experience, you know, look into the things that you want more of in your life and seek them out and seek the information on them, join the groups, you know, connect with the different people that you meet along the way, etc. Create that environment for yourself and get rid of anyone who doesn't want to be a part of that, or, you know, feel like doesn't belong or fit in with that, because you are now trying to create a better online experience for yourself. And so that's just what's going to be required. You can't have things that bother you be a part of your news feeds, timelines, anything like that, you know, because that's just going to bring about that energy that you're trying to reject and avoid. So again, create your own better experience, and I hope platforms like this one, Lifechat, is one that you feel like you can come to, because that's exactly what it's designed for, to create a more upbeat and uplifting online experience for those involved. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, all reality TV and glitz and glamour and chugging and jiving all the time. Like, people need to come together and really discuss real issues that really matter and come up with real life solutions moving forward that work out for the better for people, and not just harping on all the ridiculousness that's circulating around in social media and Hollywood and all that other stuff that really doesn't affect anybody in their real life. Okay, so then number 4, this is, you know, one that everyone has probably heard before, is but to model good behavior online. You know, a lot of the stuff that you become a part of is sent to you because you've been in some kind of a way associated with these types of things. So if you